I'm Emma Dainty and I'm a forensic collision investigator. Our role is mainly to do with obviously collisions, but mainly ones that are very serious collisions. So the forensic side of things refers to the fact that people are normally seriously injured, so life-changing or life-threatening injuries, or unfortunately if they passed away. So we investigate that. We're one of the few departments in the whole of the police where they actually go to the scene. We also see it all the way through to the court at the end as well. Our key thing is to go to the scene, to collect the evidence, we photograph it, we get our laser scanner out, we scan the entire scene like a 3D laser scan, which is pretty good because then you can go back to the scene on the computer sort of thing and sort of see it all around you. And then we do some skid testing, make sure there's no friction on the road. And then we get all the evidence together, we bring it back, and then we start piecing bits and bobs together. So why has this collision happened? It's quite rewarding because you know that you're giving the families an answer to why their loved one's been injured or why they've passed away. Was it the vehicle? Was it somebody else involved? Was it their own actions? And then you compile all the evidence together once you finish putting your jigsaw together, and then you produce it then to court.
My name's Anya Hunt and I'm the Head of Scientific Support here at North Wales Police. I've got 30 years experience in forensic science, having worked in private and public sector and also within the charity sector. I've done various roles, including with Tayside Police in Scotland, working in drugs and forensic chemistry, where I specialised as a fire investigator, and then moved into private forensic practice. I've also worked in research, looking at single cell isolation, which took me all over the world, working with police departments in Asia, the States and across Europe. I think it's fantastic to have such a diverse department covering collision investigation, fingerprint bureau and enhancement lab, and probably the one that gets the biggest round of applause and certainly their name up in lights is CSI, where they're attending incidents across the whole of the force, from shed break-ins, criminal damage, vehicle crime, right the way up to the cases including rape, sexual assault and murder.
My name's Chloe Cartledge, I'm a CSI for North Wales Police. My day-to-day sort of like jobs in work would be checking the tasking screen to see what's coming overnight or during the day, depending what time I start my shift. Could go out to anything really, could come into having to go to a post-mortem or any sort of suspicious death, or it could just be a car break-in or a theft from a property or burglary. It varies really on how extreme that sort of incident is. So it could be a ransacking or it could just be somebody stealing something from inside a car that's been open. So when I would go to a car break-in, my first thing I'd do would be to take photographs of the scene and analyse the situation for any sort of fragile forensic evidence. So that could be any sort of blood, saliva, hair or fibres. Those would be my first things that I would recover, and then after that it would be fingerprint powder examination, where we would go over the vehicle to look for any fingerprints that might have been left behind at the scene, or glove marks that might have been left if people have been wearing gloves. Post-mortems are really interesting to go to, and working in the mortuary alongside the forensic pathologist, that's really interesting. I love getting fingerprints back when they hit. when you get an identification on those fingerprints, it's just like bonus. It's great. It makes the job sort of worthwhile, and kind of getting that sort of hit, those emails coming through saying you've got a match, that's really cool.